you very much. And I'm apologising to all of you for the lack of a hall of sufficient size to take our meeting this evening. But it's a problem created by success. So be happy about that. Can you all hear me? All of the meetings and rallies we're now holding are ending up with overflow meetings. We had 500 in the street outside the main theatre in Newcastle on Tyne the other night, and we had 2,000 people inside that hall at the same occasion. Even though it was raining outside, there was still a huge number of people there. And you kind of ask yourself, well, what's going on? And it's this. 2 points about our campaign, absolute points. The first one is, whatever is said by the way of personal abuse, backbiting, nastiness, or whatever else, we don't reply, we don't take part, we don't do personal attacks, because I think the politics of this country has been poisoned and ruined by the politics of personality, celebrity, and personal abuse. We don't do that. And that, therefore, gives us much more time to discuss politics and ideas. Now, all of us were very angry and very disappointed, I'm sure, by the result of the general election in May. We were angry because a Tory government has been elected with a very small overall majority, with the support of 24% of the electorate across the whole country. We were angry because of the language they are now using of abuse against people who are legitimately trying to claim benefits in order to survive, the abuse that's being meted out against minorities, and some of those desperate, vulnerable people in Calais and other places. They are fed up with the politics of abuse that have been meted out. But we also have to examine ourselves and what went wrong. And I look at it this way: the banking crisis of 2008-2009 was not caused by single parents, was not caused by nurses, was not caused by teachers, not caused by doctors, not caused by people that sweep the streets. It was caused by an under-regulated banking system, by grotesque profit making and telephone number salaries that have on very high salaries need a bonus in order to be encouraged to work, and so those on a salary of $1 million apparently need a bonus of at least $500,000 to even think about getting out of bed in the morning to go to the office, whereas those people that clean our streets, those people that look after our children in schools get no bonus. They just get a load of opprobrium from some of our popular press who should know better. And so we have to also look at the way forward in this, because austerity has made this country more unequal, made the poorest poorer and the richest richer. And our problem as a party was that in the 2010 election, we were proposing a massive programme of cuts in order to pay for the debts that we paid out in order for the banks to survive. Wrong priorities. The priorities should be to ensure that public services are maintained and survive, that people don't lose their jobs, and that we have, instead of a contracting economy, an expanding economy, so that instead of cutting our way to deeper deficit and deeper poverty, we grow our way to prosperity and maintain services, jobs and hope at the same time. And so, to me, these are very important and very basic principles that we are putting forward in this campaign. We produced documents covering a whole range of things. The important one on the economy we've sent out. It's a consultation. Everybody can make a reply to it if they wish. And my good friend Richard Murphy, who's here with me today, helped us with the drafting of that document. That document is something that I want people to contribute to. But in short, what it says is, let's invest in a growing economy through a national investment bank that will invest in improved rail infrastructure, in housing infrastructure, in high technology engineering. We'll be prepared to invest in medium-sized companies and smaller companies in order to help them develop, and will invest in our education service and take the country forward in that way. That will then lead us to, I believe, a growing economy. We're also saying that as a party, we support the National Health Service. We all do. We're proud of our National Health Service. We're all right. But we're all terrified side of what's happening, where it's become deregulated. There's too many companies competing with each other within the NHS. There's too much of an internal market. What we need is a properly planned National Health Service that does deal with the terrible health inequalities that exist all across Britain. Every city, you can take a bus across it, and within 20 minutes, the life expectancy falls from 80 to 75, and figures like that through every major city. Poverty leads to inequality, leads to early death. Yeah. Bad housing leads to poverty and early death. And so we want an NHS that is free at the point of use, where the staff are publicly employed, and it remains the health service of first port of call for all of us, not a health service of last resort, which is, I'm very sure, what's in the minds of the Tories. They want to promote private medicine over the NHS. We want our NHS free at the point of use, publicly accountable, publicly employed, publicly invested for the good of all of us. That's what Aneurin Bevan dreamt of, and his dream lives on. I am beyond angered by the way in which those people who are living with great difficulty in our society are treated. Somewhere along the line, the safety net of the welfare state seems to have had very big holes cut in it. Every city in this country, you find people sleeping on the streets. Go around any city on a cold afternoon in January or February, and you find people who've had all kind of crises in their lives, like we all could have, queuing up to get a bed in a night shelter, and then spend the next day wandering around the streets, wondering how to survive. I know all these people have great problems, sometimes mental health, sometimes family breakup, all kinds of things. But can we cut out the language of calling them benefit scroungers? Can we cut out the language? Of humanity, and measure our success as a society by reducing the number of homeless people, by eliminating the desperate poverty and destitution of so many, to have a society where we're proud to stand up for everybody. So our proposals in this campaign are at one level, yes, about an election within the Labour Party, obviously, but it's also about how our party behaves in the future. So we don't go into an election in 2020 offering to make cuts in the public service and offering wages. Jeremy for leader. Thank you very much. and we don't go into that election sort of being apologising for our principles and ourselves. Our movement was born by very brave people who stood up to found our trade unions, to put forward those great socialist ideas that did bring us the NHS, that did bring us the Equalities Act, that did bring us equal pay, that did bring us health and safety at work, all those great things that were a huge progress. But we're also very forward thinking. Let's go forward into the 21st century, not as a country going to war alongside the USA whenever they require it. Instead, as a country that is proud to eliminate the inequality in our society, proud to invest in a growing economy, and that we don't saddle every young person who works really hard to get to university with 50 grand of debts when they come out of university. I'm going to hand over the microphone in a second. I want to thank everyone for coming along here tonight. The unity of campaigning is quite incredible. It's young and old that have come together. It's people coming into this kind of political debate for the first time. It's many others coming back who were driven away from our party by the language of injustice, the language of inequality, and the language of war. Can we be proud to be a party that stands for everybody and is a pressure for human rights, justice and peace all around the world, rather than going to war all around the world? To my good friend Manuel Cortez, the General Secretary of the TSSA Union, and before I do, just say that we're very grateful to the support of a lot of unions in this campaign. Unite, Unison, RMT, ASLEF, FBU, Bakers Union, Communication Workers Union, Socialist Education Association, Prison Officers Association, many that are supporting our campaign. And I've got to say a particular big thank you to Manuel for all the help and advice he's given us, and the fact he's even allowing us to invade his office to make phone calls, stuff envelopes and store ballots. What a legend, what a star. So can you give a really huge welcome to the General Secretary?